Hey, Chris, can you turn? Actually, no, it's good. Fine. Um, and you already got the projector screen. Perfect. Welcome to United Astronomy Clubs of New Jersey. We're back on site in Jenny Jump State Forest in Hope, New Jersey. So while people have a chance to come on down after they've parked and find a seat for the presentation, yeah, we're gonna start the presentation soon. So if you want to start following down, it actually cleared up quite nicely, so people were enjoying the views off of the rock where you can see uh, out over like Great Meadows and whatnot. So we're looking to have some decent skies tonight. So while they're filing down, I do want to welcome you all who are not only here, but also our online viewers, because that's right, we do live stream these to both YouTube and Twitch. So if you like our content, do hit those like and subscribe buttons. It does help us out greatly, getting our mission to get our love of astronomy and science out to as many people as possible. In addition, you can check out blah 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 blah. You can check out our website, uacnj.org. It's where you're going to find a list of all our upcoming talks, our past talks, as well as a list of our member clubs, because we are actually a club made up of other clubs, which means we have a wide variety of different clubs. So you can find your local club if you are here in New Jersey or parts of New York and Pennsylvania. In addition, you can check us out on our social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, we have a Discord server, all great places to know what's happening with us, as well as any special events we may have going on. We are a nonprofit organization, so any donations you have made or will make do help keeping our public outreach free, as well as help pay the bills so we can actually continue to be a club. So it looks like we're mostly settled down here, which means it is time for the safety briefing. It is unescapable. You must be briefed for your safety. If you need to use the bathroom, that is the porta potty in the back to my left, your right. It is illuminated by a red light. I have fixed it since last week because last week I found out the bulb broke. So fixed that. In addition, we do have a little museum area and gift shop that you can check out. I'll be manning it after the presentation because still they refuse to allow me to be in two places at once. It breaks several laws of physics, and those are quite immutable by humans currently. When we go to leave, we are using our headlights. We prefer not to get run over, and it does get dark since it is a state park. We don't have that many excess lights, so do use those headlights so we don't accidentally hurt people. We have a record going on where we have not run over anyone lately. We want to keep that going. Like I said, it's going to get dark, so if you have any flashlights or whatnot, do keep those pointed towards the ground, because we don't want to accidentally blind people because we're having flashlight raves. They might be sick tricks, I trust you, but it's quite blinding when it's dark. It looks like we will have a couple of telescopes open tonight, manned by our volunteers, so I do encourage you after the program to go check out the views through those telescopes. But you are not here to hear me blabber on for forever. You're actually here to hear Lonny talk about what's up in the June sky. Forgot what month it was there. Time flies a little too fast. Lonny Buinis has been giving the What's Up talks since the Cretaceous period, when the United Astronomy Clubs of New Jersey began, which really wasn't that long ago. He holds degrees from Stevens Institute of Technology in Physics and Computer Science, but his arms got tired, so he put them on the wall. Hello? Oh, there it goes. He also learned how to make space art and 3D animation and videos, and Lonny is the only member of the International Association of Astronomical Artists to specialize in virtual reality worlds. His current projects include expanding his space history ebook and putting his pants on two legs at a time, a skill I will never attempt. And his best decision so far was actually marrying his narrator of his ebook, Jan, and she is also here with us tonight. So here's Lonny with his talk.
Uh-oh. Battery problems. Oh, there we are. Very good. Welcome everybody. And thanks to Kim and everybody else behind the scenes, Chris and Paul and Marcus. There are many amateur astronomers who helped build Jenny Jump. I call it Jenny Jump, UACNJ, United Astronomy Clubs. And they're all here, and they're going to help you do some viewing later on by the observatories. But I'm here to tell you what you can see when the sky is not cloudy. And I thought it was going to be raining. This is a miracle. You can actually see the gibbous moon right out in that direction if you go and look between the trees. So tonight we're going to see what's up in the sky. And because it's so bright in June, even late at night, you may have trouble seeing my screen. So I've taken some little tricks I've done with some negative images. We'll see if it works. I have some references for you. I hope you're taking notes. I like to use go-astronomy or starwalk.space. These are all online, and I don't work for any of the sites that you're going to see. So I'm an amateur astronomer just like everybody else here. I don't do it for money. I do it for love. I love the sky. First, let's start with the events for the month. Not a whole lot, but some are kind of special. The moon passed the planet Mars, the bright star Regulus in the Lion. Anybody know the zodiac sign Lion? You ever hear of it? Begins with an L. What is it? What? Leo is correct. Yeah, we have a guy in the front here. Very good, sir. Thank you for not being shy. Regulus is in Leo. Vesta is an asteroid, and Antares is the heart of a zodiac sign with a stinger on its tail, which is Scorpion is correct. Scorpio, thank you. Yep, so you're going to be looking for the moon passing all these stars and constellations. Planet Mercury is good to see at the end of the month. We have a special event. The sun reaches its highest point in the sky in New Jersey, or the northern hemisphere, on the 21st. It's called the solstice, and we're still waiting for T Corona Borealis. I'll explain what that is in a minute. First, the current phase of the moon is called gibbous. It's not the same as gibbon, right? Sounds like gibbon. One of them is an animal. The other is a phase of the moon. The gibbous phase means it's not half lit up. It's not fully lit up. It's somewhere in between. Oh, all right. So for correct answers, we have some little giveaways. Oh, yeah. Would you please distribute? Yeah, or keep it for yourself. Either way. No. Jan will be distributing correct answers. So if you want to find out the current phase of the moon, go to moongiant.com, which I do not work for, again. You can also print out a really nice calendar of lunar phases. If you want to see details on the moon, a good time for you younger members of the audience, like you, sir, or not me, I'm an old guy, is before you go to bed, go out and look at the moon in the south at first quarter phase, first quarter. I see half of it lit up, so why are we calling it first quarter? Is that kind of weird? Do you know? Perfect. Yes, we have an astronomical genius in the audience. Thank you, ma'am. That is correct. The other side of the moon, the far side, is not visible to us, but it's half lit up, right? So we're seeing half of a half, right? The other side of the moon we never see because the moon spins around at the same rate that it goes around the Earth. It's called locked rotation or synchronous. So if you want to see craters on the moon, go out soon, right? Before it turns full, which is the absolute worst time to see anything. Can you see shadows on the moon when it's full? No, I see mosquitoes. Can you see faint objects like gas clouds that form planets and stars, nebula? No. Can you see star clusters? No. Planets? Maybe. A few stars? Maybe. Because the moon's light gets in the way. If you like to get up at 5 in the morning and see a quarter moon, the last quarter is in the early morning sky. And then, best time to see faint objects, nebulae, gas clouds, open clusters of stars, globular clusters. That's when the end of the month, when you have the new moon, happens. Where's the new moon in the sky? Daytime, right? Oh, sorry. Oh, I should have let you answer. All right, I'll give you another chance. So, moon giant, moon calendar. Names for each moon, each full moon, did you know has a name? This one, June, is strawberry moon. Why? What does that have to do with? Oh, well, you answered already, right? Well, do you know? What? It's time to harvest strawberries, and you knew that, right? But that was a person who answered the same thing. How about give it to her friend, sister? Strawberry moon. All right. All the lunar names for the month have come from Native American names or the Farmer's Almanac. So I found 21 names for the June moon at Wikipedia. Strawberry moon, blackberry moon, raspberry moon. I have some favorite long names. The moon when the leaves come out. What do they call it that? Do you know? It's when do the plants are growing. Yeah, when very good. And that's very similar to plants in a garden or sprouting moon, the Cherokee. So a lot of Native Americans came up with some beautiful names for the moon. Here's an unusual one from the Farmer's Almanac. In the year 2024, long time ago, right? Some of you members of the audience, do you remember 2024? Oh, you do, good. They came up with the first white buffalo calf to be born in captivity, so they're calling it the white buffalo moon in June. It was June of last year. All right, so how about that special event, the solstice? The name for the sun, the Latin name, is, yeah, S-O-L, sol, or sol. Solstice means sun stands still. And it looks like this. If we draw the Earth's equator out into space, it would go through certain stars, like the stars of Orion the Hunter. And if we draw the Earth's orbit in space, the sun goes along there, right? The sun is at its highest point above the equator during the solstice. So that means the days are longer, right? Very good. And that happens at 10:40 at night. So we're not going to see the exact time because it happens on the other side of the world. Now I'm showing the sky at 13 hours, which is during the day. 13 hours, what's that mean? What's that in PM? 13 minus 12. Anybody else in the audience? No, very shy audience in the back. Nobody's raising a hand. You know, yes, what is it? Close enough. 13 minus 12 is 1. But that would be daylight savings time, and we sprang ahead. So if we convert it back to the old time, it'd be noon, right? All right. If you want to see a planet that's hard to see any other time, the innermost planet, the one that's closer to the sun than Venus, is anyone? Yes. Mercury, correct. You want to see the closest planet to the sun, you got to look where the sun sets in the west. At Jenny Jump, south is that way, so west is going to be to your right. If you face south, west is always on your right, west is over there. Kind of hard to see with the trees. And here at Jenny Jump at UACNJ, there's the house that you're staring at right now. If you look at 21, should I put on my glasses? Yeah, that would help. If you look at 21 hours minus 12 is, more math. Did you know you were going to be doing math tonight? No. 21 minus 12 in PM time, yes. 9 is correct. 9 o'clock at night. The sky is still bright, but Mercury is right near the moon on the 26th. So look low in the west for the moon. You'll see the planet Mercury. If you could see Mercury up close, you would see it has a phase. There's the moon and Mercury. A little bit closer, near the twins, Gemini, sign of the zodiac. You'll always, that's my wife's sign, you'll always find the moon, sun, and planets near the signs of the zodiac because they show where the Earth's orbit is. And the solar system is pretty flat, right? Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. I left out Mercury, I left out Pluto because they're kind of tipped a little bit. But you'll always find them close to the ecliptic. I wasn't supposed to do that. And finally, special event of the month, T Corona Borealis. I'm waiting. Have you heard about this? The nova, the exploding star, supposed to go off in the crown. Did it happen yet? No, it's supposed to happen sometime between April and September 2024, which was a lot before any of you were born, 2024. T Corona Borealis is a double star, a red giant star, which material is being sucked away by a tiny star the size of Earth, about 8,000 miles across. This one's like 100 times bigger. Tiny little white dwarf star is pulling material off into a disk that accretes, so they call it an accretion disk. Astronomers are not very imaginative when it comes to names. Accretion disk, and every once in a while, the material builds up and it hits the disk and it blows up in a nuclear explosion every 80 years. Has it happened yet? No. All right, so we're still waiting. We know that this happens every 80 years. Last time in 1946, we got a little warning. The year before, it dimmed, it brightened, and then boom, the next year. It goes from being invisible right near the stars Delta and Epsilon, Epsilon, Delta, in the crown, Corona, crown, right? Sounds like a beer, doesn't it? And it will be right there making a triangle with these two stars in the edge. It will become 1,600 times brighter. So it'll be invisible except in a telescope, and then it'll be as bright as the other stars in Corona, the crown. Sky and Telescope magazine knows that some of us are impatient. So if you have a telescope, you can look for the star U in Gemini, U-Gem. Astronomers are very clever. They like to abbreviate stuff in 3 letters. U-J-G-E-M, Geminorum, means it's U in Gemini. If you line up the twin stars and make a straight line, you come to U, and that star blinks on and off about 100-fold difference in brightness, 100 times, which is something that the human eye can see. Saturn is magnitude 0. So faint stars that we can barely see are magnitude 5. So the higher the number, the fainter the star. 0 to 5 is going fainter. But if you don't have a telescope, you're out of luck. You won't see U Geminorum. That's why you come here and you go to our gift shop and buy a planisphere, which is a circular map. Shameless advertisement, I'm sorry. Or you can ask questions for free. The amateur astronomers love you if you ask a lot of questions. There's our Kim with our planisphere. Very inexpensive, a handy star chart that you can spin around. You can do this with a computer program called Stellarium, stellarium.org. And you can not only spin the stars around, you can zoom in and out. So let's try that by zooming into the north and looking for a dipper-shaped group of stars that, oddly enough, is called the Anyone? Yes. What is it? What? Shout it out. Well, this one is the Little Dipper. Close. And there's a bigger one called the Big Dipper. Thank you. See, now I'm glad you're not so shy because you're making up for the people in back. No offense to the people in back. The Big Dipper is not a constellation. Constellation is one of 88 officially recognized objects, pictures in the sky. Thank you for applauding. I know it was a mosquito. This is the Great Bear, Ursa Major, but this part of it is an asterism, a star picture that's not officially recognized. If you're a piano player, it's easy to remember how many constellations there are because it's the same as the number of keys on a piano, 88. But the Big Dipper helps us find stuff. If you find the pointers, they go down 5 times their distance apart, which is about the size of your fist held at arm's length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll see the North Star, and that tells you where north is. That way, here at Jenny Jump. So south is opposite that way. Right? If you're having trouble seeing these constellations, I reversed them, black on white. So we've got the Big Dipper finds the Little Dipper. Keep going, you'll hit the house-shaped king, Cepheus. If there's a king, there's a queen, Cassiopeia, who is so low in the sky you can't see her. Looks like a letter W. Then there's a Draco with a long tail. Currently the longest constellation in the sky. What is Draco? Dragon. Draco the dragon. And that makes constellations that you can see all year round. They never set, they never rise, they just spin around the North Pole star, Polaris. So they are called circumpolar stars. Next thing you want to do, after you identify where north is, turn a little bit counterclockwise to the west. Find out what's disappearing, what's setting. We got Cancer the crab. We got Leo the, well, close. Lion, right? Okay, close enough. And that's a constellation that is part of the zodiac. 13, not 12, 13 signs that the planets pass through. Used to be 12 several thousand years ago, but the Earth is wobbling a little. Can you feel it? Can you? Anybody? Sometimes, yeah. You're a little bit tired, drinking a little bit too much. No, the wobble takes 25,000 years, but it changes the path that the planets go through. So there's now 13 signs of the zodiac. The planet Mars is very close to Regulus, the bright whitish star in the lion. There's an orange star that I think would be a great name for an orange cat. Any cat lovers here? Anybody have a cat? Oh, wow, okay. It wouldn't happen to be orange, would it? No. Okay, some cats are orange. This star, Algeba, named for, it's an Arabic name. The Arab astronomers during the Dark Ages kept astronomy alive, named all the bright stars, and we still use those. Algeba, I think, would make a great name for a cat, an orange one. So look for Leo disappearing in the west. It's a springtime constellation. It's the main sign of spring. How about the southwest? We're going to move further that way towards the southwest. It's behind you. What would we see? Well, if we follow the Big Dipper's handle, it makes an arc. Arc 2, Arcturus. Arc 2, Arcturus, bright orange star. Now, in stellarium, the colors are not that bright, but the human eye can actually see star colors with the naked eye. It's amazing. You can see star temperatures. The sun is an average star. Its color is yellow, right? Cooler stars are orange or red. Hotter stars are blue. Very good. You don't get a gift, I'm sorry. Because did you give them all away? Your gift will be me. I'll take you home. Arc to Arcturus, speed to Spica, blue star, hot star in Virgo. Arc to Arcturus, speed to Spica. Your eyes can tell star temperatures by doing this little trick. This trick is called star hopping. It was invented by amateur astronomers like myself, but thousands of years ago. And that's the sky at 9 o'clock at night. I had to pick 9:30 because, as you know, the sky doesn't get dark in the summer until then. Here we reverse it, make it a little bit easier to see. Big Dipper, Arc in the Handle, Arcturus, Spica. How many stars are in the Big Dipper? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did you know there's another one? Right there in the handle. Check it sometime. See if your eye can see the 8th star in the Big Dipper. How about we go to the south and look low and high? We'll start low. Beginning of Scorpion, Scorpius. Scorpius. Zodiac name is Scorpio. Astronomers call it Scorpius. Has a bright red star, Antares. A star so big it could swallow our solar system out past the orbit of Mars, which is 1.5 times the orbit of Earth. Big star, giant star. The planets will follow a path along the zodiac sign like that. So you want to watch the moon doing that and the planets doing that. Mars will gradually move past that star. That star was named for Mars because every once in a while when Mars was close, our ancestors would call it anti-Aries. Ares, the god of war. Anti-Aries, Antares. The god of war, the Romans had a different name for Ares. Anybody remember what that is? No. Mars. How about high in the south? Look up very high. You got to crane your neck. Follow the Big Dipper. You're going to get dizzy doing this. You'll see the highest point in the sky. Will you see a little mark that says highest point in the sky? No, that's the zenith. Look straight up. That's the zenith. Look straight down. That's the nadir. Right? What's down at the nadir? It's a planet. I can see Earth. Yes. That high in the sky, you will see next to the star Arcturus in Boötes or Boötes, the herdsman, a crown-shaped group of stars, which is what? Corona, the crown. Crown-shaped group. And Hercules, an H-shaped constellation, spelling the first letter in Hercules. If you look to the east, you'll see the stars rising that I'll talk about in the next time we get together. What's up in the what sky? What kind of night sky? What month? July, correct. And in the July sky, we're going to look at 3 bright stars that make a triangle. 3 bright stars, 2 of them above the horizon early. The summer triangle. But that's not yet. Not yet. We're going to look for Hercules while we're here. If you stay late enough, you can ask our astronomers to show you if there's no clouds. I see some haze. But you might get to see something in Hercules. So look for the letter H. Now in a close-up, look for a fuzzy little blob on the right side of Hercules, a third of the way down from the top right star. Right? You can use a pair of binoculars to see it. This fuzzy little cloud is a group of stars close together in a globe-shaped cluster of stars. So astronomers call it what? Take a guess. Globular cluster. Ingenious. Globular, how did they come up with these names? Amazing. Globular cluster. This is the easiest globular cluster to see from New Jersey. There's a brighter one down south, Omega Centauri, but it's in the trees always. This is a group of about 500, that's 500,000, 500,000 stars. There are thousands of these globular clusters circling our Milky Way galaxy at all angles. They are the oldest things in our galaxy, dating back before 10 billion years. That one looks beautiful in our telescopes, our big telescopes. You will see separate stars, hundreds of them, amongst the 500,000. If you look at Corona Borealis at 9:30 on the 15th of the month, right during the middle of the month, you'll see a bright star moving past the area where you'll see the nova. I'm predicting you'll see the nova. It's not a bright star, it's Starlink 6098. Anybody see a Starlink satellite lately? They're easy to find. They're moving quickly through the sky. 90 minutes to go around the Earth. So when you see one going past the sky, it goes very fast. Slower than an airplane, but steady. All right, so 9:30 on the 15th, Starlink satellite passes right through the crown. All right, maybe easier to see. People in back, is it easier to see the black on white or the light on dark? This one, a little easier? Thank you. All right, I'll do this from now on. Some quick reading before you go and look at the real stuff in the sky when it gets dark. Anybody still like to read? Don't be shy. A little. it's it's actually easy to do online. Astronomy magazine, Sky and Telescope magazine, although they're in print, they have a nice subscription area online, and huge parts of that site are free. Huge parts are free. If you forget anything else I told you tonight, easiest to remember, SPACE, space.com. Yep, I don't work for them. They have a list of best apps, stargazing apps. I found a couple dozen for my Android phone. You just hold up your phone, shows you what's in the sky, right? Try that. Fun. And if you want to download Stellarium, which is what I use to make those pictures, you can at stellarium.org. If you don't like downloading stuff, you can go to their supercomputers at stellarium-web and just run those computers to make a map like I did here. And this shows the sky on June 15th, about 9:30 at night, the one we were just talking about. There are some other constellations I didn't mention. Below Virgo, the Maiden, there's a cup and a crow. Looks just like a crow and just like a cup, right? No? Yeah, use your imaginations. If you want to get started in astronomy, you don't need to spend a lot of money on a telescope. We were selling a beginner scope for about $79 for a while. That's the Celestron First scope. Binoculars are good because if you get bored looking at the sky, you can use it for bird watching, right, or other things. So the prices of these have come down to below $160. Pretty nice. You want to get bigger than 7 by 50s. The second number is the size in millimeters. 50 millimeters is just under 2 inches. 70 millimeters is better, just under 3 inches, more light. And again, a quick review. Moon goes past planet Mars. We missed that. Regulus in Leo the Lion, thank you. Vesta asteroid. Antares is the heart of the animal with the stinger. Scorpion. Right, you'll see the moon going by the Scorpion later in the month. Mercury, June 26th, go out. See if you can see the innermost planet. Where do you look? It's near the sun. Where is the sun at night? West, correct. Just after sunset. And Corona Borealis, I don't know. We'll see. Solstice, June 21st, the sun is what? Highest in the sky. You've been a good audience. Thank you very much. Come back again. Thank you. Oh, we have plenty of time for questions. Yep, thank you very much. Thanks to Jan for passing out gifts. And thanks to Kim and others for running the show.
Hello? Okay, there it goes. I'm like, I tried to talk and I'm like, oh, there's no noise coming out. Right, so we are going to be having a question and answer session. For those of you who are here in person, you're going to get to raise your hand and wave it about like you just don't care for your questions. And I will come hand you the microphone because chances are, if you have a question, someone else also has a question and might be too shy to ask it. But don't be shy to ask those questions. Online people, you have the easy job. You just get to type in chat, and I monitor that on my handy-dandy portable internet box on my arm. Right, so we're going to start this out by a comment I thought you would get a kick out of, Lonny. Right now, it's moon of the unreasonably high pollen count.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, and my eyes get affected by pollen.
Yeah, we're all like ready for the pollen count to go down just a little bit. Right, and I did see we have a first question out here. Yeah, you raised your hand. Now you gotta ask a question.
Well,
I
that's
was asking if there's prizes.
We already did the prizes, but we have in the museum and gift shop area. There are some free things you can get. Were there other questions?
No.
okay. That's all right. Thank you for helping with the other question.
All right. Was there an actual question out here? Bueller. Bueller. All right. So our next question is, if T. corona borealis doesn't do the thing we're expecting it to, what does that mean? Like it just says, nah, not we're just not doing it.
Well, they have predictions for when you should look, and those are here. Because it takes 228 days for the white dwarf to orbit the red giant star, they can predict when to look for an explosion. 27 March this year didn't work out. So next time will be November 10 or June 25th next year or February 8th the year after 2027. So November 10th, if it doesn't happen, let's get our money back.
uh, I'm gonna actually have to make a T-shirt for our online store. Finally saw T. corona borealis, and all he got was this T-shirt. Uh, because man, we've been waiting for it for a while. Questions? Oh, perfect. Thank you. I'm kind of like a T-Rex. The waving part's important. My vision's motion based.
Is the star going? Are we gonna see the star that's going to erupt?
Yes, we are. Its magnitude is supposed to be 2. It was 10. That's 1,600 times brighter, which makes it look like one of the stars in the W. Have you ever seen the W Cassiopeia? In the winter, it's upside down. It looks like a letter M. It'll be as bright as one of those stars. It won't be brilliant, won't be blinding. It's not a supernova. It's a nova, which is a word that means new star. But all it is a nuclear explosion, an extra explosion that makes it look brighter than it was. So it'll go from invisible to visible to the naked eye. You will be able to see it. And it happens every 80 years. So, it may be late, but it will happen. Maybe I'll be telling you about it next time. We'll see. Good question.
Oh, I see another question back there. Let's.
So when that happens, how long is it visible for? Is it visible for like a day or two or a while?
It takes I think it takes approximately a week or so to dim to the point where you won't see it anymore. So it's gradual. It'll be at its brightest for perhaps a few days. Good question. The rate at which these things rise and fall lets astronomers gauge distances to the universe, because we know exactly how fast supernova brighten and dim. And that helps us gauge distance to galaxies billions of light years away. It's amazing.
Actually, personal follow-up question. Is there a chance that it already happened and we just missed it? Or is there just too many people looking at this thing that there's no way we could have missed it?
I didn't write down how far away this thing is. So it could have happened in the past, and the light is taking time to reach us.
No, I mean,
But-
it occurred, it was visible, and we just...
Oh, no. The news media would give it, all of 5 seconds on the major media. But astronomers would make such a fuss that you would know about it. It'll be on all over the internet. There'll be pictures. There'll be video. They're very excited to view this thing because we have all kinds of sophisticated observatories now. I see a question out there.
Yep, I'm going to do an online question first, okay, hon? All right, so our next online question, if you could rename any constellation, what would it be?
Ooh. Well,
Is there one that's really ticking you off?
No, but Orion was renamed by the author Tom Weller, who also wrote a brilliant book. He was a author and illustrator for the book Science Made Stupid, which is long out of print, but you can see it all online for free. He called it O'Brien. He also renamed all the other constellations. But if I could rename any one, what would I do? I'd probably rename one of them to Deinonychus, my favorite dinosaur. You know Deinonychus? Same as Velociraptor. You recognize that one, right? Yep, it's the same dinosaur. They're very closely related. They were bipedal. They had a cant forward stance, long counterbalancing tail, and gripping claws, and they were covered with feathers. Did you know this? Their whole body covered in feathers.
That's a big chicken.
Yes, giant chicken. You
'Cause
wouldn't want to encounter one of those.
Right, I do know we had another question out here. Right, what was the question?
How do the scientists see the star, and like how far away is it? How do they see it?
Ah, that's a very good question. P Corona Borealis will not be visible as a disk. They will not see the star directly. They'll see its light. Even the world's largest telescopes can't resolve the disk of T Corona Borealis. It's too far away. But they can measure, they can break the light up into a spectrum. The spectrum will show us what the star's atmosphere is made of, what chemicals are in it. That we'll time it. We'll learn about the time it takes for the nova. We'll learn a lot about it. We just won't see it directly. And that's true for most stars. Now, some observatories are so big they can simulate very large aperture instruments. They can actually see the disk of some giant stars. That's called interferometry. The images interfere and create something that's sharper. It's amazing that they can do that.
All right, online people, I want to ask if you have any questions, do get those in chat. And I say that now because by the time they hear it, we're already like 2 minutes into the future because that's how stream delay works. Right. I think I saw another hand up, but I lost you because it went down. Oh.
Go ahead.
I saw something on Facebook about.
Oh, yes.
The question about was they saw something on Facebook about Northern Lights. The news media hyped them up. Is it still visible?
Yeah, there is a complex weather map online that shows the extent to which the Earth's atmosphere gets disturbed by very powerful charged particles from the sun. There have been some big flares on the sun recently, and that throws off these particles that have a charge. The charged particles take about 2 or 3 days to hit Earth. They get funneled in by the Earth's magnetic field where it's strongest at the poles, especially the North Pole. That trickles down to lower latitudes, sometimes New Jersey, rarely. And it's easy to misinterpret that map, which has been done an awful lot. We have a friend, a meteorologist friend, Bill, who explains that it's not that easy to understand. So when they say you might see auroras tonight, as they did just a few days ago, it's somewhat likely. You go out, you want to look to see if you see these curtains of shimmering light. But for instance, where my wife and I live, Bergen County, we see mostly light from city lights. So it's very hard to see aurora. I think I might have seen something, maybe a reddish glow, but I can't be sure. Does anyone in the audience think they might have seen it? Ooh.
A number of people might.
The last time.
So
yeah, but you want to be on the lookout or listen when the news says there's a major eruption on the sun, a flare. Then a few days later, we get a chance to see aurora, northern lights.
Around here, usually it has to be above a 6 to really see it naked eye, besides just I wonder if the sun's doing weird things because of how the atmosphere is. Wow, that was fast.
Psychedelic.
Yeah, that was slightly distracting.
Sorry.
I lost my train of thought. No passengers survived.
6. Not a 6 here, evidently.
Yes. So normally about a KP of 6, you might start to be able to, and especially maybe pick some up on your camera. However, the last time everyone was like, look outside, and everyone could see it, we were at an 8. And still down here, we were mostly getting kind of less of a curtain effect and more of various colors that you could see on it, because light pollution is getting worse. It has gotten worse over time, so if you are in a very light polluted sky, your number is up from what you used to need. So do be mindful of that. And if you have lights outdoors, try and be mindful. International Dark Sky Association has all sorts of tips and tricks to help reduce light pollution, which actually makes it more likely when we get these solar storms to actually be able to see things like the aurora again. You got a mosquito in your eye?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one earlier. They're fierce tonight. All right. Looks like online chat was there. Oh, perfect. I see a question out here.
Why is Pluto not a planet anymore?
Oh, beautiful question. Why is Pluto not a planet anymore?
Thank you.
It actually is still a planet. It's just been reclassified as a different kind of planet called a dwarf planet. And that's because there are other dwarf planets besides Pluto that they didn't know about when they found Pluto in 1930. That was a long time before you were born. So Pluto is still a planet. It's the brightest dwarf planet, and that's why they found it first. But there's a bigger one called Sedna, and there's like hundreds of them.
All right. And there was another question here.
What time can we see the northern lights if we do?
What time can we see the northern lights if they come? And that would be any time when it's dark. Any time at all. You want to look low in the north, but you need a clear horizon. What's the horizon? Between the sky and the ground, right? So if you have trees and houses, you've got to go where you can see more of the ground. And you have to look low. It has to be dark. There's a mosquito in my mouth. Blech.
Protein.
And you have to have a lot of luck, right? So when it's dark.
Yeah, and timing can be less than ideal. I think there were a couple solar storms where the brunt of it, where the index was high, was during the daytime.
Oh, also, my friend Bill explains that it's very narrow. It can be within a few hours. So if they tell you it's going to happen 3 days from now at night, yeah, it might happen at 3 in the morning. It might happen 12 at night and then disappear. So you have to pay very careful attention to the forecast.
Right. Were there any last minute questions? I don't know if that's an actual hand or just flailing. Yeah, let's avoid bodily harm tonight. Roughhousing with siblings is great, but bloodshed is not. I do not want to have to clean up blood tonight. I'm glad we're on the same page that they don't either. All right. Any last minute questions?
Good questions. Thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
all.
So thank you all for coming. Like I said, we do have a number of telescopes open with volunteers manning them. Feel free to go up and ask what they're looking at. Like I said, if you need the restroom, that is the porta potty illuminated by red. We got a little museum and gift shop area that you can check out. Check out our website, uacnj.org, and use your headlights when you leave. Right. So everyone have a great night.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Enjoy your night. Bye.
And thanks to Kim, Chris, and others for making this possible.